Hi, I'm Jeremy, and today I'm going to show you a nice portable game called Ubongo Trigo. It is published by Cosmos in Europe, and it only includes German directions, but you can print English directions off of Board Game Geek. The game is for ages 7 and up, and it plays in about 20 minutes or so for 1 to 4 players. I'm going to take a moment to show you how it plays if you're not familiar with the Ubongo series, and then I'll come back here and give you my final thoughts on the game. Okay, so I've set up the components here that you're going to get with Ubongo Trigo, and it plays similarly to the other games in the Ubongo series. If you haven't played those, though, I'll explain how it works. So the game plays from 1 to 4 players. The single player variant just has you finishing as many cards as you can within 20 minutes, but I'll explain the multiplayer variant here, or the multiplayer game here. The way that works is that each player is going to get a set of these various shapes that go from 1 to 7, and then each player will get a card, and there's 2 sides of the cards. There's an easy side, which requires 4 shapes to complete the puzzle, and there is a hard side, which requires 7 shapes, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shapes to complete the puzzle. So from your 7 shapes, you'll take the shapes that are required for the puzzle, so I need 1, 2, 5, and 6, and every player gets the same set of shapes. And then, as soon as everybody's ready, a player will say Ubongo, and then players are going to race to try to fill in the gaps on this puzzle. So now I'll show you how that's done, hopefully. Let's see. There we go. This is nothing like time pressure on something like this to make you underperform, but that's really the nature of the game. So there we go. You can see here with those 4 pieces, I've completed both of the puzzles. So I would shout out Ubongo, and there's 2 ways that the scoring work in here. In the basic game, once one person shouts out Ubongo, the other players have 20 seconds if you're on this side, 30 seconds if you're on the difficult side to complete their puzzle. Everybody who completes their puzzle within that time frame will get to keep their card as a point at the end of the game, and then whoever finishes first in a round gets the cards of the players who did not finish during that round as additional points for finishing first. So that's how that works. I'll show you how challenging these could be. So this requires everything but number 3, and wow, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do this on cue, because you can see that all these pieces are only going to fit together probably one way. That's not going to work. I can tell already. There's no long piece, and essentially this game is very hands-on, very much requires you to think spatially. So games like this, they require one basic skill set, and sometimes players are going to be better at this than other players, and there's nothing that you could really do about it to compete. So ideally that you don't have somebody who's incredibly good at this sort of thing in your group, so everybody will have a chance, but that's the nature of this sort of game. I suppose one of the drawbacks to a game like this, and that's not going to work either. I'm going to abandon my cause here, but you get, I think, the gist of it. The game is pretty challenging, especially on this side. I think most of these you could complete within a minute or so, but these, oftentimes you'll have people coming around the table after the round is ended trying to figure out as a group how to solve that puzzle. But I can assure you that all of them do have solutions. You get a large number of cards. It's something like maybe 32 cards, and they're each 2-sided, so they each have 2 puzzles. And for a game that costs less than 10 euros, that's a lot of value for your money. So that is how you play Ubongo Trigo. Alright, so after that devastating failure, I think you could see that Ubongo Trigo is a bit of a brain burner. The game, differs from the normal Ubongo in that it uses these triangular pieces. There was a big box version that did use similar pieces to that, but most of the Ubongo pieces use either squares or cubes, or most of the Ubongo games, rather. This one is, again, it's meant to be played more quickly than the other games in the series. It's just, portable little games, very small box, and and again, very low price point. So because of that, it's not going to be something that you're going to want to play over and over and over again. But there's a surprising amount of game in the box. You get something like 32 cards. I would guess that's about how many there are there, and you get 2 sides of puzzles on each of those. So you could scale the game if somebody is, like I said during the rules overview, if somebody's excellent at the game, you can make them play on the harder side while other players play on the easier side, and it still becomes a race. So there is a little bit of handicapping possible because of that. I find the game really fun, and I would say that it's not quite my favorite in the series, but at the price that it costs, if you're able to get a copy of it, which might be a little difficult to do in the United States, I'm not sure how readily available it is, but if you can get a copy of it, it will probably be inexpensive, and it would probably be a lot of fun, a great introduction to the series, or a nice variation on the series for those who are already fans. So those are my thoughts on Ubongo Trigo, and thanks for watching.